Hey, what's on, guys? It's Ramsey back in another video. As you can see, today we're back on the map because I was showing you guys how to play Small World and Punk Synchro / Punk Adventure, whatever you like to call it. Before we get into it, remember to like, share, comment, subscribe to your friends about us. At the time of recording this video, we have over 350 subscribers, trying to get to 400, 450, etc. There's a subscriber giveaway every 50 to 100 subscribers. Also, if you're in the area on July 20th, this would be our first ever public cough cup for everyone. We're holding it at P.U.N.K Games in Taylor, Michigan. Shout out to those guys. They are the venue. They're giving out the prize support. Also, it's a new store, so it's a nice one for you guys to bust in. They have Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, Smash Bros, etc. So again, come check us out, Taylor, Michigan, Hyperion Games. So without further ado, let's get right into it. And for this video, we'll be using my specific deck profile, so I'll leave an annotation for you guys to check out up here for the actual deck profile itself. But here are the rules. We are strictly only using these 9 cards today. These 9 cards are very important. Top 3 are your starters, in some cases bombs, and then the bottom row are your hand traps / bricks in this case. So, reveal one monster in your hand, choose one monster from your deck that has exactly one of the same type, attribute, level, attack, or defense, and banish the revealed monster from your hand face down. Then, add from your deck to your hand one monster that has exactly one of the same type, attribute, level, attack, or defense as the monster chosen from your deck. Then banish the card chosen from your deck face down. You don't have to make one small word per turn. So basically, your goal here, just without overthinking it, is literally just have one thing in common on each card you pull out. So, if our end goal right now is Xiamen, cool, we're looking for lines for that. So we'll start off with our scythe. Our goal is to get from our scythe in hand to our Xiamen in deck. So from here, we try to plug in and play. We'll try with the Ash Blossom. This is a no-go. Why? Because the scythe and the Ash Blossom have nothing in common. Different attributes, different levels, different types, different attacks, different defenses. So this is a no-go. We won't be trying cards like Water Enchantress or our Red Rose because these are our starters. You don't want to kill the consistency of your deck with that stuff like that, unless that's in an emergency. Now what you can plug in though is a card like Gamma. Why? It's a 3 of, it's a hand trap. You don't need 3 of it to play the game. So as you can see, same attribute, different levels, different types, different attack, different defense. Now we move over to Xiamen. Different attribute, different level, same type, different attack, different defense. So this is a line for you guys right here. So you will activate Small World with Scythe in hand to reveal the Scythe, reveal Gamma from deck, banish this, reveal Xiamen from deck, banish this. So boom, there's your first line for Xiamen. So now we'll move on to Ash Blossom. Again, Ash Blossom in hand, Xiamen in deck. So we'll put this over here. So any card that's next to the Small World, that's what's in hand. This is basically our combo start. All right, cool. So trying to get Ash Blossom to Xiamen. From here, the crazy part is we have multiple lines for this one. The first line is Token Collector. Yes, Token Collector. Because the only thing they have in common between Ash and Token Collector is their attacks. You see the different attributes, different levels, different types, different defenses, but they have the same attack. Then you move over to Xiamen, same attribute, different levels, different types, different attack, different defense. So from here, you start with Ash Blossom in hand, reveal it, get Token Collector, banish the Ash, reveal this, reveal Xiamen from deck, banish, you have Xiamen in hand. Now the other line you can do, though it's more of a desperation move on my part, like if you have Token Collector already in hand or something like that, but there's a line for Token Collector as well, I will get to that one, is Water Enchantress. Why? Because the only thing Water Enchantress and Ash Blossom have in common is their level. So if you go through, you'll see different attributes, same level, different types, different attack, different defense. Then you move over to Xiamen. Only thing Xiamen and Water Enchantress have in common are their levels. So from here, you would go ahead and reveal Ash, get Water Enchantress from deck, banish the Ash, reveal Yaman from deck, banish Water Enchantress, you have Yaman. Now, I only will recommend this one is if you already have the Brave package already set up. But then again, this is also more so of a line of you just want to straight go Yaman, because if you normally summon Yaman, you can't do the Brave stuff. So do with that what you will. Now moving on to our next line, we're looking for a line for Effect Veiler, between Effect Veiler to Yaman. Now this one is actually pretty easy. It's Ash Blossom. Why Ash Blossom? Because the only thing they have in common between Effect Veiler and Ash Blossom is their attacks. The only thing they have in common between Yaman and Ash Blossom is their levels. As you can see, 0 attack, level 3, level 3. So from here, you would go ahead and reveal Ash, or not, excuse me, not reveal Ash, reveal Effect Veiler, get Ash from deck, reveal Yaman, banish Ash. So now you have Yaman in hand. Now, our next line is Snow. Now keep in mind, we're only using the cards that we previously showed you guys. So, from here, this one is Snow plus Gamma plus Yaman. Now why? Simply, if you look at the attributes of Snow and Gamma, they're both light. Different levels, different attack, different defense, different types. You move over to Yaman. Between Yaman and Gamma, the only thing they have in common is that they're both psychic. So, start off with Snow, move into Gamma. Move from Gamma, get your Yaman. Now, there's another line I want to discuss is with Gamma. This one is more so dangerous though. Why? Because the only line for this one out of the cards you have is Red Rose. The only reason I would suggest this is if you decide to go with a Jet Synchron route, or there's another route you want to go other than the standard Red Rose combo. Other than that, I would not do this one. Other cases are maybe if you like somehow banish Rocks Rose or something like that, or something like that. But this is one where you're basically just killing a Red Rose combo. I don't advise this one, but it's a line there for you for the Gamma. And our last one is Token Collector. Yes, there's even a line for Token Collector. This one is simply, again, Ash Blossom. Why? Because attacks and defenses are both 0, and then moving on from there, level 3 on the other side. So from here, you start off with Token Collector, reveal it in the hand, get your Ash, banish Token Collector. Ash Blossom, Yaman in hand. Simple as that. If you guys want to go ahead and confirm real quick, because I know I probably went a little too fast on that one. You want to confirm real quick? Okay guys, now we're moving on to Red Rose Small World. So we'll start off with the Scythe again. I'm trying to get from Scythe to Red Rose. The line for this one, you guys try to think about it out of the cards you have. Put them right here. Okay, so your line for this one is Gamma. Why? Because the only thing Scythe and Gamma have in common is their attributes, which are both light. The only thing that Gamma and Red Rose Dragon have in common is their their attacks. So from here, you will start off with Scythe in hand. Get rid of Scythe, you have Gamma. Get rid of Gamma, you have Red Rose. And that's the line for that one. So now we're going to move on to Ash Blossom. Again, give you guys 3 seconds to figure it out. Okay, so the line for this one actually is 2 answers. The first answer is Yaman. Why is Yaman? Because between Ash Blossom and Yaman, the only thing they have in common is their levels. And between Red Rose and Yaman, the only thing they have in common is their levels. So this is an easy line for you. This one is more so fine than banishing a Red Rose because you have 2 Yamans in deck. If you're going with my build, if you're going with another build, you might have 3. Never do Small World if you only got 1 Yaman though. Don't ever do that. That's just bad. But that's the first line. The other line is Water Enchantress. Why is this one also okay? It's the fact that you play 3 of Water Enchantress, unless the ban list says otherwise. You play 3 of this. And simply the line for this one as well is also they're all level 3s. That's simply the line all the way across. So, now, moving on to our next target. So the next one is we're trying to go from Valor to Red Rose. Again, I'll give you guys 3 seconds. All right, guys, your line for this one is Water Enchantress. Why? Because the only thing that Effect Veiler and Water Enchantress have in common is that they're both spellcasters. You move over to Red Rose and Water Enchantress, the only thing they have in common is that they're both level 3s. So, again, this one is more so a fine line, because of the fact of, if you're not playing a heavier Brave package, the Water Enchantress being banished is not going to necessarily hurt you or anything like that. At the end of the day, there are other lines to play through as well. So, that's your line for that one. Now we will move on to Snow. Again, you get 3 seconds. Okay, guys, if your answer was Gamma, you are correct. Simply because light, move on, or see attack. Same thing they have in common over there. So that's a line for that one. So now we're gonna go ahead and move on to Gamma itself. Again, you guys have 3 seconds. Okay, so the line for this one is Yaman. Simply because Gamma and Yaman, the only thing they have in common is their types, which are both psychics. Then you move over to Red Rose is Yaman, that one's more easy, it's their levels obviously. So this is also fine if you're playing 2 or 3 Yamans, because this is a simple line for you to get to and it doesn't hinder your combo whatsoever. So now we will move on to Token Collector. Again, you guys have 3 seconds. Okay, so the answer for this one is Xiamen. Why? Token Collector and Xiamen only have one thing in common. They're both herbs. And then you move over to Red Rose Xiamen. Only thing they have in common is their levels. So Token Collector, which start off with in hand, it turns into Xiamen, which then turns into your Red Rose. All right, guys, our final line here. Again, guys, thank you for staying around for this long. And remember to like, share, comment, subscribe to your friends about us. So, what will we start off with in hand for this one? We will try to start off with Scythe. This one has actually pretty simple line out of the cards we have at our disposal. This one is simply Effect Veiler plus Snow. Now, why that? Because for Effect Veiler, only thing Scythe and Effect Veiler have in common is their attribute, which is light. Only thing Water Enchantress and Effect Veiler have in common is that they're both spellcasters. So, simple line for that one. And basically, it's the same thing for Snow. Scythe and Snow are both lights. Snow and Water Enchantress are both spellcasters. Now we'll move on to Ash Blossom. Amongst all of these cards, who do you think is the line? Well, it can't be Red Rose because they have the exact same defense as well as attack. It can't be Token Collector plus Ash Blossom because they have, they have the same attack, but when you move over to Water Enchantress, there's no line. So for this one, there's 2 answers again. Effect Veiler and Xiamen. Now let's start off with Effect Veiler. What they have in common is their attacks. Different levels, different attributes, different types, different defenses. You move over to Water Enchantress, something we've already hammered into your head is that they're both spellcasters. Cool? And then for Xiamen, look at Ash, Xiamen. Same levels, simple, easy math. Then you move over to Water Enchantress, same thing with Ash Blossom. They both have level 3. So, start off with Ash in hand, reveal it, get Xiamen, Water Enchantress, boom. Same thing with Ash to Effect Veiler, Water Enchantress, boom. So now, This one, we move on to Valor to try to get into Water Enchantress. This one, based off of what we just saw, is already a simple line here. We have the Ash Blossom. Simply because the same attack, nothing else in common, same level, nothing else in common. Now the reason the snow doesn't work here is simple fact of they're both lights, they're both spellcasters. So you can't plug it. So for this line, Effect Valor into Ash into Water Enchantress. That's your line. Which both are fine because you both have these at 3 ofs, this is a 3 of as well. This is why we say the deck never breaks. So now, our next one is Snow itself. So now, how do we get from Snow into Water Enchantress? So for this one, surprise, surprise, there is no line. Simply, out of these cards Among Us, Red Rose, nothing in common with Snow. Gamma, they're both lights, cool. Move on to Water Enchantress, there is nothing in common there. Move on to Effect Valor, they have too much in common as they're both lights and they're both spellcasters. Move on to Ash Blossom, they have nothing in common. Maybe we could try Xiamen. Nothing in common. Scythe, same pattern as before. They're both lights, nothing with Water Enchantress. And then for Token Collector, they're both level 4s, but you move over to Water Enchantress, nothing in common. So for these two, there is no line. Up amongst the cards, I should put an annotation there. Amongst the cards we have right here, there is no line. So now we'll move on to Gamma. What is the line for Gamma to Water Enchantress? Again, remember, must have one thing in common between them and Gamma, and then them and Water Enchantress. 3 seconds. Thing is, I'm being really generous this time here because that's way more than 3 seconds. So, Gamma actually has 2 lines here. That is Snow and Xiamen. Let's start off with the Snow. Simply, they're both lights, nothing else in common. Move over to Water Enchantress, they're both spellcasters. For Xiamen, they're both psychics, so they're same type. And then for Water Enchantress to Xiamen, they're both level 3s, nothing else in common. So it's another one where you have multiple lines. Cool. So now we'll move on to the final line of the day. Token Collector. So how do we get Token Collector to go into Water Enchantress? This one is actually pretty fun. Why do you say that? Because simply, this one goes in 3 different ways. Ash Blossom, Snow, and Xiamen can all fit the requirements for this line. We'll start off with Ash. What Ash and Token Collector have in common, which we've already covered previously in the video, is their attacks, nothing else. And you move over to Water Enchantress, they're both level 3s. Xiamen. What these two have in common, they're both Earths. What Water Enchantress and Xiamen have in common, they're both level 3s. Then finally for Snow, what they have in common, same levels. What Water Enchantress and Snow have in common, they're both spellcasters. Cool. Alright guys, so that's going to wrap it up for this video. If you guys also want to see other lines as well using the other cards in the deck, it's such as the Brave package, injury requirements like Illegal Knight, Griffin Rider, etc. Let me know in the comment section below. Also, what you guys think of this video. It's been Reference to Arsenal signing out. Peace and have a great day.